The alarm blared through the Galactic Alliance monitoring station. Senior Officer Kren jumped from his rest cycle and rushed to the main console. His 4 eyes widened as he studied the readout. "What do we have?" asked his supervisor, stepping into the circular room. "Unknown vessel, Commander. It just appeared at the edge of the Lyra sector." Kren's fingers moved quickly across the floating display. "Our scans can't identify the design. It matches nothing in our database." Commander Zakvarin of the Keldorian species nodded slowly, his gray skin wrinkled with concern. "Send the Discovery to Central Command. I'll prepare the Celestial Harmony for a diplomatic mission." Across the void of space, Captain Eric Wolf sat in the command chair of the human warship US Valiant *. The bridge hummed with nervous energy as the crew worked at their stations. This was humanity's first venture so far from Earth, and everyone felt the weight of responsibility. "Status report," Wolf said, his voice calm despite the tension in his shoulders. Lieutenant Ryan Martinez looked up from his tactical display. "All weapons systems operational, Captain. Shields at full strength." "Good," Wolf replied. "We don't know what's out here, but we'll be ready." 5 years ago, an alien ship had appeared without warning near Mars colony. The attack lasted only minutes, but it killed thousands. Earth had barely understood they weren't alone in the universe before they learned how dangerous that universe could be. The Valiant was humanity's answer. Built with thick armor and powerful weapons, it looked nothing like the sleek ships in old science fiction movies. It was a fortress designed to survive and fight back. "Captain, I'm detecting an approaching vessel," said Communications Officer Samantha Bennett. Her fingers danced across her console as she tried to make sense of the incoming signals. "They're broadcasting something, but I can't understand it." "Put it on screen," ordered Wolf. The main display showed a sleek silver ship, elegant where the Valiant was bulky. It moved with incredible grace for its size. "Are they transmitting any universal mathematical sequences? Anything we could use as a translation basis?" asked Wolf. "No, sir. Just what sounds like language, but nothing our computers recognize." Wolf frowned. The last time humans encountered aliens, talking wasn't on the agenda. "Keep our weapons hot, Lieutenant Martinez, but do not fire unless I give the order." On the Celestial Harmony Commander Zakvarin studied the strange ship with growing concern. "It's practically covered in weapon ports," he told his science officer. "And that hull design. It's built to withstand tremendous damage." "Perhaps they evolved in a hostile region of space," suggested the science officer. "Many species develop defensive technology first. Let's hope they're friendly. Initiate a deeper scan. I want to know what we're dealing with." The scan beam touched the Valiant and alarms immediately sounded throughout the human ship. "We're being scanned," shouted Martinez. "The energy signature is similar to targeting systems." Captain Wolf gripped his chair. Defensive posture. Raise shields to maximum. "Captain." Bennett turned, her face pale. "What if they're trying to communicate? And what if they're not?" Wolf replied, "We can't risk another Mars." On the Alliance ship, a junior officer cried out in alarm. "Commander, they've activated some kind of energy barrier, and their weapons systems are powering up." Zakvarin cursed. "Cease the scan immediately." "Prepare tow." The Valiant fired first. Not a full barrage, but a warning shot that blazed past the Celestial Harmony *. "They shot at us," the pilot exclaimed. "Evasive maneuvers," ordered Zakvarin. "Return fire, disabling shots only." The exchange lasted less than 3 minutes. The Alliance vessel, though more advanced, wasn't built for combat. The Valiant's heavy armor absorbed damage that would have crippled other ships. As the Celestial Harmony limped away to safety, Commander Zakvarin sent an urgent message to the Galactic Alliance Council. First contact established with unknown species, heavily armed and aggressive. Approach with extreme caution. And so began humanity's introduction to the wider galaxy, not with handshakes, but with weapons fire. A misunderstanding that would shape everything that followed. Admiral Lisa Caldwell stood before the United Nations Space Command panel. The large screen behind her showed images of the Valiant's recent battle. "This was not the mission we authorized, Admiral," said the UN Secretary. "The Valiant was sent to explore, not to start a war." Admiral Caldwell nodded. "I understand, Mr. Secretary, but Captain Wolf believed his ship was under attack." "Was it?" another council member asked. "We can't be certain. Our analysis suggests the alien vessel was conducting a scan, not targeting weapons." The room fell silent. 5 years ago, in this same chamber, they had watched helplessly as an alien ship attacked the Mars colony. The footage still haunted them, the alien vessel appearing without warning, its weapons tearing through the colony dome, and the terrible silence that followed when 3,000 colonists died in minutes. "We recovered this from the Mars attack," Admiral Caldwell said, bringing up an image of broken alien technology. "It gave us our first glimpse of advanced weapon systems. Without it, we couldn't have built the Valiant *. Dr. Alan Grant stepped forward. As chief engineer of the Valiant * project, he had made those alien fragments speak their secrets. "The Valiant * isn't pretty," Dr. Grant said. "We didn't have time for pretty. She's built like a tank because we don't fully understand the weapons that might be used against her. We added every defensive system we could imagine." He showed diagrams of the ship's layout. Triple redundant systems, armor plating 2 meters thick in places, power systems that can take multiple hits, and yes, enough weapons to fight back against whatever attacked Mars. Back on the Valiant *, Captain Eric Wolf was having his own difficult conversation. His executive officer, Commander Nicole Rivera, stood across from him in his quarters. "We should have tried harder to communicate," Rivera said. "We fired first, Captain." "They were scanning our weapons systems," Wolf replied, "just like what happened at Mars before they attacked." "We don't know that." Wolf looked at the picture on his desk. His sister had been on Mars. "I couldn't take that chance, Nicole. Not with all our lives at stake." "And now," she asked, "what if we've made enemies of potential friends?" Before he could answer, the ship's AI system spoke through the room speakers. "Captain, I've completed my analysis of the encounter." Athena, the advanced tactical hybrid enhanced neural array, displayed a hologram in the center of the room. It showed energy signatures from both ships. "The alien vessel's energy pattern doesn't match what was recorded during the Mars attack," Athena said. "It appears to be an entirely different type of technology." Wolf's face went pale. "You're saying the species we engaged is not the same one that attacked Mars?" Athena confirmed, with 97.3% certainty. Commander Rivera sat down heavily. "So we fired on a completely different alien civilization. One that now thinks humans attack without provocation," Wolf added quietly. On the other side of the sector, the damaged Galactic Alliance ship Celestial Harmony limped into port. Medical teams rushed to treat the injured crew, while Commander Zach Varon reported directly to the Alliance Council. "The unknown vessel's capabilities are concerning," he told the 7 species representatives gathered around the table. "Their armor resisted our standard weapons, and they used some form of projectile technology we haven't seen before." "Primitives using physical ammunition?" asked the Vortexian delegate, his tentacles waving dismissively. "Primitive but effective," Zach Varon answered. "And their ship design suggests a species built for war." "The real question," said the Luminary representative, her luminescent skin glowing softly, "is whether they were already aware of us, or if this was truly first contact gone wrong." What none of them knew was that a small observation drone had detached from the Valiant * during the battle. It now hovered silently outside their meeting chamber, recording everything and transmitting back to Lieutenant Olivia Wilson, The Valiant's intelligence officer. Captain Wilson called over the ship's comm. I think you need to hear this. They're not our enemy, but they think we are. The Galactic Alliance Council chamber buzzed with urgent voices. Representatives from all 7 species sat around the massive circular table, their faces showing various forms of concern. This new species presents an unprecedented threat, said the Keldorian delegate, tapping a claw on the table. Their vessel withstood weapons that would have crippled any of our ships. The Luminara representative's skin glowed a worried blue. Yet we know nothing about them or their intentions. One encounter is not enough to judge an entire species. Keltor, the intelligence officer from the analytical Iranian species, stepped forward. His 8 eyes blinked in sequence as he activated the room's holographic display. Our scans, though brief, revealed much. Keltor said, their ship design suggests a civilization built for war. The hologram showed the Valiant rotating slowly. Unlike the sleek, artistic vessels of the Alliance, the human ship was blocky and intimidating. Weapon ports dotted its surface, and its thick armor made it look heavy and solid. Note the lack of aesthetic consideration, Keltor continued. Every element serves a defensive or offensive purpose. Compare this to our own vessels, where form and function exist in harmony. Perhaps they evolved in a dangerous region of space, suggested the Vortexian ambassador. Many species begin with defensive technology. The level of weaponry exceeds mere defense, Keltor replied. And their use of physical projectiles alongside energy weapons suggests a concerning versatility. The council broke into factions. The pacifist group argued for continued diplomatic efforts, while the security faction pushed for immediate military action. We must strike before they can deploy more vessels, insisted General Drav of the militant Taurian species. Violence will only confirm their fears about our intentions, countered Ambassador Excelina of the Luminara. None of them realized that a small, cloaked drone hovered near the ceiling, recording everything. Back on the Valiant Lieutenant Olivia Wilson watched the feed with growing concern. Her translation software was crude but effective enough to understand the core message. They're afraid of us, she told Captain Wolf. Some want to attack us before we can build more ships like the Valiant Wolf studied the various alien faces on the screen. And the others. They want to try talking again. They believe we might have attacked out of fear rather than aggression. Commander Rivera leaned forward. They're right about that. Captain Wolf nodded slowly. Keep monitoring their communications, Lieutenant. I need to know which faction wins this debate. On Earth, deep in the underground complex of Central Command, a technician burst into Admiral Caldwell's office without knocking. Admiral, we've detected signals, he said, breathing hard. From the Kuiper Belt. Caldwell's blood ran cold. What kind of signals? The same pattern we recorded before the Mars attack. Different location, but identical signature. She rushed to the monitoring station, where other officers were already gathering. The main screen showed a visual representation of the signal patterns. There was no mistaking them. How long do we have? Caldwell asked. Based on previous patterns, anywhere from a few weeks to a few months before they arrive. Caldwell stared at the screen. The real enemy is coming back, and we've just managed to make potential allies think we're the threat. She turned to her communications officer. Send an urgent message to the Valiant Their mission parameters have changed. In the silent darkness of space, the Valiant continued to monitor the Alliance Council. Lieutenant Wilson suddenly sat up straight, her eyes wide. Captain, she called out, I'm getting a priority message from Earth. Encrypted channel. Captain Wolf took the message in his private quarters. As he read it, his expression grew grim. He called for an immediate meeting of his senior officers. The situation has changed, he told them when they gathered. Earth has detected signals matching those that preceded the Mars attack 5 years ago. The room went silent. Our new orders are to attempt peaceful contact with this galactic alliance. Earth needs allies, not enemies. He looked around at their faces. The real enemy is coming back, and this time they might bring more than a single ship. Commander Rivera nodded. So we go from warship to diplomatic vessel overnight. Can we even do that? We have to try, Wolf replied, or humanity might not survive what's coming. Captain Wolf stood on the bridge of the U.S. Valiant *, staring at the view screen. His ship was advancing slowly toward Alliance space, broadcasting messages of peace on all frequencies. Any response? He asked. Lieutenant Jake Miller shook his head. Nothing yet, Captain. I'm sending the message in every format I can think of. Mathematical sequences, simple pictograms, even basic binary code. Keep trying, Wolf ordered. They need to understand we mean no harm. Commander Rivera joined him by the command chair. The crew is nervous, Captain. This isn't what we trained for. I know, Wolf said quietly. We spent years preparing for war, and now we're trying to make friends. Deep within Alliance territory, Ambassador Excelna of the luminary species prepared for her mission. Her luminescent skin glowed a calm blue as assistants attached diplomatic insignia to her formal robes. You understand the risk? Asked General Draff, who had opposed this mission. These humans attacked without provocation. I understand there are two sides to every first contact, she replied. And as an empath, I will know their true intentions better than any scan. The Alliance sent a heavily armed diplomatic vessel to meet the Valiant in neutral space. Both ships approached cautiously, weapons ready but not targeting. On the Valiant's bridge, alarm spread as the crew got their first clear look at the Alliance delegation ship. It was 3 times the size of their previous encounter. They're not taking chances this time, Lieutenant Martinez said from Tactical. Their weapons capacity is significantly higher than the ship we engaged before. Captain Wolf nodded. But they haven't fired, which means they're willing to listen. The Alliance vessel transmitted coordinates for a meeting point, empty space between the two ships. Engineers from both sides quickly assembled a temporary structure there, a simple pressurized meeting room floating in the void. Lieutenant Miller worked frantically at his console. I think I've got the basics of their language, Captain. It's complex, but our translation program is adapting. Good enough for a conversation? Wolf asked. Good enough to avoid another misunderstanding. At least. Captain Wolf selected his team carefully. Himself, Commander Rivera, Lieutenant Miller for communications, and Dr. Carol Hudson, their xenobiologist. They boarded a shuttle and approached the meeting point. Inside the plain metal structure, Ambassador Xelna waited with 3 other Alliance representatives. When the humans entered, her skin flashed a bright yellow, a sign of shock that her companions immediately noticed. What is it? Asked her security officer in their language. They resemble the desecrators, she whispered, referring to the mythological enemy that had nearly wiped out several Alliance species thousands of years ago. The humans noticed her reaction, but didn't understand its cause. Captain Wolf stepped forward, hands empty and visible. I am Captain Eric Wolf of the Earth ship Valiant *. He said as Lieutenant Miller's translation device converted his words into the Alliance language. We come in peace. The first hour was difficult. Basic concepts required lengthy explanations, and cultural misunderstandings threatened to end the talk several times. But slowly, painfully, communication improved. The ship that attacked you, Ambassador Xelna said eventually. It was not Alliance. We understand that now, Wolf replied. We acted out of fear because we had been attacked before. This caught Xelna's attention. Attacked? By whom? Wolf showed her images from the Mars attack 5 years earlier. The ambassador's skin paled to almost white as she recognized the ship design. That is a Vrex vessel, she said, her voice shaking. They were thought to be extinct. Vrex? Commander Rivera asked. A conquering species from our ancient history, Selna explained. They nearly destroyed several of our member worlds thousands of years ago before they were defeated. Captain Wolf leaned forward. Well, they're not extinct. And our long-range sensors suggest they're coming back. Not just to Earth, but heading toward your territory as well. Ambassador Xelna's skin shifted to a deep purple, a color none of the humans could interpret. If the Vrex have returned, she said, then this meeting is even more important than either of us realized. We may all be in grave danger. For the first time since entering space, humanity had found something beyond Earth that wasn't trying to kill them, only because something worse was coming for them all. The emergency alarms blared throughout the Alliance diplomatic vessel. Ambassador Exelna and the human delegation rushed back to the bridge from their meeting room. "What's happening?" she demanded. Her tactical officer's voice shook as he answered. 3 Vrex warships just appeared at the edge of the Proxima sector. They've completely destroyed the outpost there. A hush fell over the bridge. Captain Wolf stepped forward, looking at the tactical display showing the attack. "That's exactly what they did at Mars," he said quietly. "A sudden strike, massive damage, and then retreat before a response can be organized." The display showed the Vrex ships vanishing back into hyperspace as quickly as they had appeared. 50 Alliance citizens were dead, and a scientific outpost that had operated for 300 years was now just floating debris. Within hours, the Alliance Council convened an emergency session. For the first time, a human, Captain Wolf, attended remotely. The council chamber was filled with shouting and accusations. "They're testing our defenses," General Drav growled, "probing for weaknesses before a larger assault." Ambassador Xelna nodded. A pattern matches what Captain Wolf described at Mars. The timing cannot be coincidence. Back on the Valiant Asterisk, Dr. Carol Hudson made a breakthrough. As the ship's xenobiologist, she had been studying samples preserved from the Mars attack 5 years earlier. "Captain," she reported over the ship's communication system, "I've been analyzing the Vrex biological material we recovered, and I found something strange." Captain Wolf, still connected to the Alliance Council meeting, asked her to continue. "The Vrex aren't natural beings," Dr. Hudson explained. "Their genetic structure shows signs of extensive artificial modification. They were designed, not evolved." The council chamber fell silent as everyone listened. "Designed for what purpose?" asked the Iranian representative. "Conquest," Dr. Hudson replied simply. "Every aspect of their biology serves that goal. And there's more. They seem to collect genetic material from other species. The samples we found contained DNA fragments from at least 6 different species." Ambassador Xelna's skin turned a pale gray. "Our ancient records mention this. The Vrex harvest traits from conquered species to enhance themselves." An idea formed in Captain Wolf's mind, a disturbing one. Could humans be related to these desecrators you mentioned earlier? The Alliance historians pulled up ancient records. The similarities between human appearance and the descriptions of the desecrators were striking. "It's possible," said the chief historian, "that your species descends from survivors who fled to Earth during the ancient war. It would explain why the Vrex targeted your world specifically." Commander Rivera, who had been listening quietly, spoke up, "And it might explain something else. If humans are descended from these desecrators, we might have genetic traits the Vrex want to harvest." The discussion turned to defense strategies. The Alliance, despite their advanced technology, had focused on peaceful expansion for centuries. Their weapons were designed for precision and minimal damage. "Our ethics limit our options," admitted General Drav. "Our weapons are meant to disable, not destroy. Against an enemy that shows no such restraint, this becomes a weakness." Captain Wolf studied the specifications of Alliance weaponry. "Your technology is more advanced than ours in almost every way, but you've never needed to build the kind of weapons we have." "What are you suggesting?" asked Ambassador Xelna. "The Valiant Asterisk was built specifically to fight the Vrex, though we didn't know who they were at the time," Wolf explained. Its design might be the template for a new defensive fleet. Several council members looked uncomfortable at the idea. "You suggest we adopt human military philosophy?" asked one, clearly disturbed. Commander Rivera answered, her voice steady. "What you call our paranoia and aggression might be exactly what's needed against an enemy that shows no mercy. Sometimes survival requires setting aside normal limitations." A silence fell over the council. The Alliance had maintained peace for thousands of years by avoiding exactly this kind of thinking. But now, facing an enemy from their darkest history, they were forced to consider whether humanity's warrior instincts might be their salvation. The Valiant engaged one of our ships and survived with minimal damage, General Drav admitted reluctantly. Perhaps there is something to learn from human design philosophy. And so began a careful, hesitant partnership, advanced alien technology meeting human military thinking in the face of a common threat. Captain Wolf's shuttle landed at the United Nations Face Command Headquarters in Geneva. Ambassador Xelna stepped out behind him, her luminescent skin drawing stares from everyone they passed. She was the first alien to ever set foot on Earth's soil. "Your world is beautiful," she said, looking at the snow-capped Alps in the distance. "So much water and life. Worth protecting," Wolf replied quietly. The UN Security Council was already gathered in the main chamber. Admiral Caldwell met them at the entrance. "This won't be easy, Captain," she warned. "Half the council wants to build more warships and hide behind them. The other half is afraid of getting involved in an ancient alien war." Inside, the debate was already heated when Captain Wolf presented their proposal, an unprecedented military alliance with the Galactic Alliance. "The Vreks are coming," he told the grim-faced world leaders. "Not just for us, but for the entire alliance. We have a chance to stand together." "Why should Earth commit our resources to defend alien worlds?" asked the Chinese representative. "Our priority must be protecting our own planet." Ambassador Xelna stepped forward, her skin pulsing with calm blue light. "Because alone, none of us will survive. The Vreks don't just destroy, they consume. They take what makes each species unique and add it to themselves." Meanwhile, aboard the Valiant the remaining crew worked with Alliance engineers. Commander Rivera watched as alien technicians examined human weapon systems with a mixture of fascination and distaste. "Your railgun technology is surprisingly effective," admitted the lead Alliance engineer. "Primitive, but the kinetic impact bypasses many of our standard shield designs." Rivera smiled slightly. "Sometimes the old ways work best." Dr. Grant, who had arrived from Earth to assist, identified something important in the combined data from both human and Alliance encounters with the Vreks. "Their shields have a vulnerability," he explained, pointing to energy readings. "They're designed to handle either sustained energy weapons or physical impacts, but they struggle to manage certain electromagnetic pulse patterns." The Alliance engineer nodded slowly. "Our weapons are too refined, too clean in their energy signatures. But your ship's unusual power systems produce exactly the kind of dirty energy output that might disrupt their shields." Back in Geneva, Admiral Caldwell addressed the World Security Council. "Earth must join this fight," she said firmly. "Not just for our own survival, but because our unique approach to warfare might save countless civilizations." She displayed images from the Mars attack alongside the recent Alliance outpost destruction. "The Vreks don't negotiate. They don't show mercy. If we wait for them to reach Earth, it will be too late." After hours of debate, the decision was made. Earth would join the Alliance and share military technology, but with conditions. "The Valiant and any future vessels will remain under human command," insisted the American president, "and Earth must be granted full Alliance membership despite our limited technological development." Ambassador Xelna agreed to these terms. "Your martial perspective is exactly what the Alliance has been missing. Sometimes peace must be protected by those willing to fight for it." As they concluded the negotiations, a junior officer burst into the council chamber. "Admiral Caldwell, Long-range sensors have detected a massive hyperspace disturbance. The room fell silent as the display showed what was coming. Over 100 Vrex warships, heading directly for Alliance space. "How long do we have?" asked Captain Wolf. "At their current speed, 3 weeks until they reach the outer Alliance territories." The captain looked at Admiral Caldwell, then at Ambassador Excelina. "Then we have 3 weeks to prepare a defense." The ambassador's skin had turned almost white with fear, but her voice remained steady. "The Alliance has not faced a threat of this magnitude in thousands of years. We are not prepared." "Maybe not," Admiral Caldwell said, "but humans have been preparing for something like this since the Mars attack. We just didn't know who we were preparing to fight." For the first time, humanity's paranoia, their obsession with defense, and their readiness to fight would serve not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. The Valiant Asterisk, designed to protect one world, would now help defend thousands. As Captain Wolf left the chamber, Dr. Grant caught up with him in the hallway. "I've been working on something," he said quietly. "A way to modify the Valiant's Asterisk reactor to generate an electromagnetic pulse that might disable multiple Vrex ships at once." "Will it work?" asked Wolf. "In theory. But there's a catch. The ship generating the pulse probably won't survive the discharge." The next 3 weeks passed in a blur of activity. Alliance engineers worked day and night to upgrade the Valiant Asterisk with their advanced shield and propulsion technology. The bulky human warship now moved faster and could absorb even more damage than before. On Earth, 6 more human warships that had been under construction were rushed to completion. Each incorporated both human and Alliance innovations: human weapons with Alliance targeting systems, Alliance power cores protected by human-designed armor. Captain Wolf stood on the bridge of the upgraded Valiant Asterisk, now designated as the flagship of the Joint Defense Fleet. The view screen showed the other human vessels taking position around them. "All ships report ready, Captain," Lieutenant Martinez said from Tactical. Wolf nodded. "And the Alliance vessels?" "They'll rendezvous with us at the edge of the Cygnus sector," Commander Rivera replied. "The human ships will serve as the main attack force, with Alliance ships providing tactical support." Martinez had spent days developing their battle strategy. "The Alliance always meets threats defensively at their borders," he explained to the gathered officers. "The Vrex will expect that. Instead, we'll intercept them in deep space, away from any civilian populations." "A human approach," Rivera noted. "Take the fight to the enemy rather than waiting for them to come to us." The combined fleet assembled at the coordinates. 22 Alliance vessels joined the 7 human warships. Together they looked strange. The sleek, artistic Alliance ships alongside the blocky, intimidating human designs. "All ships, this is Captain Wolf," he broadcast to the fleet. "The Vrex will reach our position in 6 hours. They outnumber us 5 to 1, but they don't expect us to be here. The element of surprise is our advantage." The plan was bold. Rather than facing the Vrex directly, they would appear to retreat, drawing the enemy fleet into a nearby nebula that would interfere with their sensors. Then the human ships would launch a devastating ambush while Alliance vessels targeted the Vrex power cores with precision strikes. When the Vrex fleet emerged from hyperspace, the battlefield exploded into action. The Alliance human fleet appeared to scatter in disarray, fleeing toward the nebula. The Vrex, sensing easy victory, pursued them eagerly. "They're taking the bait," Martinez said, watching the tactical display. "All ships are following us into the nebula." Inside the colorful gas cloud, sensors became nearly useless. But the human ships had been prepared for this, equipped with special tracking systems designed to work in the interference. "Now," ordered Captain Wolf. The Valiant Asterisk spun around, firing its newly enhanced electromagnetic weapons. Vrex shields flickered and failed as the Alliance ships targeted their suddenly vulnerable power cores with surgical precision. For a while, the plan worked perfectly. Vrex ships exploded one after another, caught completely by surprise. But there were simply too many of them. Alliance vessel Harmony is down, reported Lieutenant Miller, monitoring the communications. Stellar Wind and Justice are taking heavy damage. Even the heavily armored human vessels began to suffer. The US Defiant lost its main engines. The US Courage reported multiple hull breaches. The Valiant shuddered as a Vrex beam cut through one section of the ship. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut, but dozens of crew members were lost. Main propulsion is offline, Rivera reported, her face streaked with blood from a cut on her forehead. We're operating on auxiliary power only. Captain Wolf looked around his damaged bridge. The fleet was failing. Despite their surprise attack and combined technology, the sheer number of Vrex vessels was overwhelming them. It was time for the last resort. Evacuate all non-essential personnel to escape pods, he ordered. Commander Rivera, you'll lead the evacuation. Captain, she questioned, suddenly understanding what he intended. Dr. Grant's electromagnetic pulse, Wolf said quietly. It's our only chance. The Valiant's reactor can be modified to generate a pulse that will disable the remaining Vrex fleet. But we need to get right into the middle of their formation. The ship won't survive that discharge, Rivera protested. No, Wolf agreed. But I only need a skeleton crew to pilot her in. Everyone else needs to get to safety. As the evacuation began, Wolf gathered the volunteers who would stay behind, just enough to guide the dying vessel into the heart of the Vrex formation. Each person knew they wouldn't return. The Alliance didn't understand us when they first saw the Valiant Wolf told his remaining crew. They thought we built her because we wanted to conquer, but we built her to protect. And that's exactly what she's going to do today. 6 months later, a memorial ceremony was held in Earth orbit. Representatives from all Alliance species gathered alongside human officials. The central view screen showed the names of those lost in what was now called the Battle of Cygnus Nebula. Captain Eric Wolf's name was at the top of the list. In the final moments of the battle, the heavily damaged Valiant had plunged into the heart of the Vrex formation. Its reactor, modified according to Dr. Grant's design, released a massive electromagnetic pulse that temporarily disabled every Vrex ship within range. The remaining Alliance and human vessels had seized the opportunity, methodically destroying the defenseless enemy vessels. The Valiant itself had been torn apart by the discharge, with no survivors among the volunteer crew who had stayed behind with Captain Wolf. Admiral Caldwell stepped forward to address the gathered dignitaries. Today we honor those who gave everything to protect not just humanity, but all sentient life in our shared galaxy. Commander Nicole Rivera, still wearing a medical brace from her injuries, stood with the surviving Valiant crew. She thought about Captain Wolf's final words to her as she boarded the escape pod. Sometimes the only way to preserve peace is to be willing to fight for it. Remember that, Nicole. Ambassador Xelna approached the podium, her skin glowing a solemn purple. For thousands of years, the Alliance believed that true civilization meant moving beyond conflict. We were wrong. The humans taught us that peace must sometimes be protected by those willing to wage war in its defense. She turned to face the Earth representatives. Today, we formally welcome humanity as the 8th member of the Galactic Alliance. Your unique perspective has already changed us for the better. After the ceremony, Rivera walked slowly through the space station corridors to the observation deck. There, floating in the construction dock, was a new vessel, the US Wolf *. Unlike the intimidating appearance of the Valiant this ship balanced defensive capability with diplomatic function. Its lines were smoother, incorporating Alliance aesthetic principles while maintaining human practical design. It represented humanity's evolution from fearful isolation to confident cooperation. Dr. Grant joined her at the window. She's beautiful, isn't she? The best of both worlds. "What's her mission?" Rivera asked. "That's up to her new captain," Grant replied with a small smile. Admiral Caldwell approached them, holding an official datapad. "Commander Rivera, or should I say, Captain Rivera, the *US Wolf* is yours, if you want her." Rivera stared at the Admiral in shock. "Me? But there are more senior officers. None who understand both humanity and the Alliance the way you do," Caldwell interrupted. "Your experience makes you the perfect choice." Rivera looked back at the new ship. Captain Wolf had believed in her, even when they disagreed. Now she would carry on his legacy, but in her own way. "I accept," she said, "on one condition. Lieutenant Miller becomes my executive officer." "Already arranged," Caldwell replied. "Your orders are twofold. Continue exploring deep space to ensure no more Vrex fleets are approaching, and make peaceful contact with other civilizations who might join our expanded alliance." 1 week later, Captain Rivera stood on the bridge of the *US Wolf* as the ship prepared to depart Earth orbit. Her crew was a mixture of human and Alliance personnel, the first truly integrated ship in the fleet. "Course laid in, Captain," reported her Keldorian navigation officer. Rivera settled into the command chair that still felt new and unfamiliar. "Begin recording." Captain's log, stardate 218345. The *US Wolf* departs on her maiden voyage. Our mission reflects how far we've come in such a short time. She looked around at her diverse crew, then continued. "The Valiant was built because we feared what waited for us among the stars. The Wolf* is built because we now know both the wonder and the danger the universe holds. We remain ready to fight if necessary, but we voyage now primarily to understand and connect. That is the true conquest humanity seeks, not of territory, but of knowledge and friendship. And yet, we will never forget the lesson the Valiant taught us. Sometimes peace must be protected by those willing to wage war in its defense." The *US Wolf* accelerated smoothly away from Earth, its design still carrying echoes of the warship that preceded it, a reminder that humanity's place in the galaxy was earned through both sacrifice and strength, and that our willingness to fight when necessary had become our most unexpected contribution to galactic civilization.